Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. All depends the part of the world you're joining us from. I remember Mazi Austin, and we have some things to talk about this very moment. And I believe I'm coming out loud and clear in the first place. You're okay. Nigeria has been a place that, as the day is breaking, uh, one is one is seeing a whole lot of disturbing news. It's quite unfortunate. Nigeria has been a land of the dead because people have been dying. People are people are killed every single day in Nigeria. Lives are, appearing to be worthless. And rather than confront the situation, the political class seem to be more interested to talk about power grabbing rather than to confront the menace. The political class seem to be more crazy, about political powers. And in a situation where you see such a thing, you know, in a situation where you see such a thing, you are facing a collapsed system, a structurally collapsed entity that is already, dying. Very, very important to understand that. Very, very important to understand that. So every single day, the poor, the rich are being mercilessly eliminated, mercilessly killed by the Nigerian state. Very, very important to understand that. Lives are going every day in Nigeria. I mean, the rich, the poor, everyone is being killed, and nobody seems to say anything about it. Just take a news of this very man who happens to be a retired army spokesperson. He was abducted alongside with the wife. The man. He was adopted alongside with the wife, paraded, openly paraded by the Fulani terrorist. And today, there is a breaking news that the man has died in the custody of a ragtag elements, a retired army general. Oh, goodness me. A retired army general. I just want to build a premise so that you understand the danger everyone is facing, and you understand the importance of facing what is vital, what is essential, what is most critical threat before each and every one of us. This is a retired army general, supposedly, but this Fulani terrorist picked him up, picked the wife, paraded them openly, humiliated them openly, and today the man has died. So when we say Nigeria does not in any way, is not in any way designed for you and your future generation, you should, rather than, vituperations, rather than malign, rather than insulting people who are championing the cause for dissolution of such horrible entity, you should appreciate us. Even before the man, I think a few minutes ago, one of also a core member of APC was also arrested, not arrested, picked up by Fulani terrorists in Kogi, and also paraded. He's also passing his own humiliation. And you know what? When they are caught, the same Nigerian government, the same Nigerian system will tell you that they are repented and they will be reintegrated into the society. That's a horrible situation we're talking about. Perhaps when that policy was ongoing, this man never, never opposed it. Yes. Maybe when the policy of reintegration of the supposed repented terrorist, maybe he never opposed it. And today, he has also, shared from the system he never opposed, from the evil he never opposed. So what am I trying to say? If a general of northern extraction could be treated as such, humiliated and killed, you can imagine you as an ordinary person. You can imagine. Just imagine you as an ordinary person. What will possibly be your fate? Yeah. Because if a retired general, are you not telling me he's a businessman they will pick and let go? Are you telling that if a retired general, not just a general, somebody who had a very strategic position in the military, spokesperson, former spokesperson, if such a person So that is what it is. So this is a time people should understand absolutely what is facing us as a people. Recently, I think yesterday or today, there was an intelligence report widely published on Nigerian mainstream media. Widely published on Nigerian mainstream media. And that intelligence report explained how these guys are moving en masse from Zamfara down to Biafra land, south, south, and southeast. You know, most of us do not read because we believe just let us come online and probably look at few things and get out. There is an outstanding intelligence report from government side talking about how these guys are moving from Zamfara, from northwest, northeast, down to, down to southeast and south-south. Look at the report as carried out by Punch newspaper. It said, dislodged, there is a caption, dislodged terrorist migrant to southeast, south-south. It said many of the terrorists dislodged from Zamfara and Sokoto states have been relocating to southeast and south-south regions. Security and intelligence sources have revealed to Saturday Punch. Security and intelligence sources have reviewed to Saturday Punch. So it is today's publication, Punch publication. The insurgents, according to the sources, not one source, according to the, network trying to break down. It said insurgents, according to, that is today's Punch, today's Saturday publication. Now, if further reads, the insurgents, according to the sources, are utilizing interconnected forest corridors and riverine routes stretching through Niger, Kogi, and Anambra states to escape military pressure in the north. Intelligence and security sources said, look at their route. Now, I want to beg each and every one of us to understand that if we get distracted, if we keep on fooling ourselves by chasing cloud, every single one of us will bleed. Because in the north, these guys do not know who is a APC member. They do not know who is a Christian, who is a Muslim, this and that. They are brutal conquistadors with a mentality to conquer. So if we keep on keeping ourselves busy with narratives that are not, protectionist oriented, we keep on talking yabbing nonsense, which I'm going to even educate us on, or let me say, argue on. If we keep on chasing cloud, we end up shooting ourselves on the foot. This is from Nigerian newspaper, mainstream media. reporting intelligence and security. And he said these guys have, remember, those of them in the north are not, there's something I want you to understand. Let me read the second paragraph. The insurgents, according to the sources, are utilizing interconnected forest corridors and riverine routes stretching through the Niger, Kogi, and Anambra. So they are, when it comes to rivers line, they have already maintained a very strong presence in Kogi, which means River Benue, linking to Anambra, the tributaries of the water lines, then getting to Anambra, then Niger having her deltas. When you talk about deltas, you're talking about where a bigger river scattered herself, and they understand geography. They understand geography, which most of us do not even understand when we talk about geographical, geopolitics, geo-war, geoinformative. When we talk about some of these things, some of you think, oh, we are speaking a lot of grammar. Oh, you're talking, zim, zim, zim. But we're telling you it's a reality. The people you call ragtag movement, they understand geopolitics. They understand geo-war. They understand geoinformation. And you that say you're fighting a freedom, you are into freedom fighting. You do not know. And even when opportunity comes for you to know, you trample upon it. You trample upon it. And when you're being mocked of not knowing anything, you say they're insulting you. Why would they not insult you? When you refuse to upgrade yourself to the reality of the time. You are information lagging. You are just dangerously outdated. And when somebody raises alarm based on intelligence report, but because of shared hatred, because of ignorance, because Ochinas has said it, you want to malign it. And you forget to know, issue of safety has no business to talk about your individual view. Yes, it has no business. Every single time we try to tell ourselves, let us be abreast with the reality. Let us wake up to the fact of the moment. There's what is called fact of the moment. You must not be so fixated in mind. You must not be so parochial and one way in thinking that if it is not that colloquial perception, you cannot make a turn. What keeps every movement safe, and destination guaranteed is the ability for the people to foresee the future and modify, possibly formulate a policy that saves them from the future storm. That is what makes a movement. If a pilot is moving and the system, the weather system tells him there is a thick turbulence in the future, there is a threatening weather system in the future, the pilot cannot be so stupid to say because he was designated to fly at 60,000 altitude, for instance, that he will maintain it, even when the radar system is telling you that there is a heavy storm in the future, that there is a big turbulence that are likely going to threaten the safety of that aircraft. You say, no, I was designated to fly at 60,000 feet. Such is a foolish pilot. A wise pilot will descend either to 50,000, 40,000, or 30,000 to avert that possible threat. And that is one thing we must be abreast to. We have Biafra restoration before us. But before Biafra restoration, what is most critical to us now is preservation. Because we have marauding invaders, brutal elements, soulless beasts called Fulani jihadists. They are approaching. If you're shouting Biafra, 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 without asking yourself, how do we protect the Biafran land? You will die not to see the Biafra because you'll be conquered, subjugated into a terrible situation that you cannot even mention the Biafra. That is reality of life. Understand that reality of life does not make you weak. What is called strategic planning is ability to understand the moment, understand the future, and design a working system to checkmate, avert, and be in control of the situation. That is what, when you hear strategic planning, it is not a rocket science. Now, let's look at what world intelligence says. Let us read, because you now understand how these guys operate. They have, from the report we are seeing, they operate through the tributaries of the waters. And if they should also control the waterways, it doesn't matter how you make the noise, they will control the land. Because controlling of the waterways invariably means controlling the entire region. And most of us, we are so daft in downplaying issues. Some of us will say, they cannot, and we have game, like most of us, the way we are making noise. Nothing will happen, and they will not do this, they will not do that, and they end up doing what he said they will not do. Do you know why? Because defense is not a product of rhetoric. You don't defend the land by mere displaying rhetoric. Nobody fears a man, who talks a lot. When you're a talkative, when you talk blah, 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 you're just an entertainer. Or should I say, a talkative. No nation has built a formidable defense on rhetorics. You must have ability to have more planning and less talking. And that is, I understand that is the problem most of you have with the leadership of this movement. Most of you believe they should all be entertaining you 24/7. But what does entertainment to do with strategic plannings? What has entertainment to do with the defense of the land? What has entertainment to do with foreign engagement? What has rhetoric to do with all these things, expectations? Because we have so much evolved into the mindset of that it is when we talk a lot, that's when we are doing a lot. But the world is not designed in that way. That's why in every society there are two lines of defense: intelligence and military. Military does the open work. Intelligence circle do on the secret side. In fact, every strong nation invests more on intelligence than conventional army. And intelligence is all about secret service. Less talk, but more ear and eyes in the camp of the enemies. Israel is powerful not because of IDF. The power and the might of Israel lies on Mossad and Jim Bet. The power of US does not lie in Pentagon. It lies on CIA and FBI. Because they scoop, they eavesdrop, they penetrate, they infiltrate before the military can now do the open dislodging. It is called secret operation, clandestine operation, covert operation, overt operations. Let us not think, it doesn't matter how you must have evolved on the wrong side. You must understand the dynamics of the moment. What am I trying to say? What Punch published today, somebody amongst us have even raised alarm. Say we should prepare ahead because there is a possible bloodbath. But do you know what? Because of, cheap and how will I describe it? Petty hatred, petty envy, petty idiocy. But it is officially on the display today. This is an intelligence report. This is a security report. Now, let's read forward. Somebody is calling when it's not the time to call. Please, you cannot call now. Maybe we'll talk. I'm still on program. So, we'll get back. Let's finish reading this. Now, the sources, including security chief, the Punch is telling you the sources at which they got this information. We have already been warned. We have already been informed. We have already been informed. We have already been told. But let's say, I don't know why somebody will be calling me while I'm on program, please. Somebody is calling the line and he's watching, knowing that I'm discussing, and he's still calling. Now look. Now let's look at, I think this person deserves to be blocked. Hello? Okay, sorry. Let us know what you want. Yes, I'm still on program. I will open the line so that you call. I'm still discussing. I know you're watching, but you're still calling. Okay. There we go. That is a bit... Now, let's look at what Punch said is the sources of this information. He said, the sources, take note of this, including a security chief. A security chief told them, a retired army general and an officer of Department of State Services. Look at the sources. See, there is a problem that faces every one of us. If you are not in Biafran land, probably you have your families here. Yes, you have families in Biafran land. And it must be a concern for you. It must be a worry. When I started this program, I projected the image of former army general that died in the captive. It is an existential threat, irrespective of your divided lines, irrespective of your angle, irrespective of your perception, irrespective of your religious affiliation, your inclinations. It is a threat on the people. And whether you like it or not, the Biafran land, talking about Southeast and South, are the only land currently that these guys have not established a strong footprint, courtesy of some secret operations that have been going on. And thank God for the leadership that is not in the business of, they are not there to entertain you, to tell you what they are doing in terms of some of this operation is none of their business. What matters to them is that they are doing their best to make sure the land is kept secured. And also they need the support. Now, listen, they said these are their sources. The sources include security chief, a retired army general, and an officer of the Department of State Services. Said the terrorists were migrating through Niger and Kogi State into Anambra. Take note of that. From where they move into Abia and Imo, while others have pushed further south. So because of, if you look at, I think it could have been good, let me get the map of the route. You know, when we talk about geopolitics, geographical geoinformation, most of you start talking rubbish. Terrorists, you downplay, you undermine, are more even informed of geographical route. But you are where you are talking rubbish. Every time he's talking about geopolitics, he's talking about geopolitics. People, supposedly you might call them a ragtag people. They understand the geographical route. And even when you are being informed, you mock over that. You laugh ignorantly. You laughed over it. You insult people trying to open your eye on the modern realities. Isn't that funny? I want to just see if I can get us a clear image that, okay, so that you understand what these guys are talking about. Now, if you look at this image too well, Camp Project, if you look at this image too well, you would understand Kogi, you will understand Benue, you would understand their relationship with Anambra State through the waterways. And why do they choose those waterways? Listen and listen very carefully. Because Nigeria does not have naval presence on those smaller waterways. These are waterways they can use canoe and paddle themselves into, having caution into Biafran land. Why do they choose? Why did they divert? And this is what I want to explain to you people. Why do they not divert to make use of the waterways? Because the men and women of ESN have effectively combating them between the boundary between Enugu and Kogi. Anambra and Kogi are the land borders. They have not been finding it easy to, it could have been less expensive for them to make the incursion through the land borders. But active operations have been going on the land borders, courtesy of consistent deployment of the ESN operatives by the leadership. What did they do? They understand that it is a difficult terrain. They plan with reality, but will you plan with reality? The answer is no. You believe on your illusion. Look at them. Look at the Fulani you mock. Look at Fulani terrorists. They are facing reality for what it is. They have been trying in several ways to make incursion through the land borders, but it's not easy. It has never been difficult. China Sanwo-Olu will always say, Kihana Kora, or in a lady in a Kora people who entertainment can name. Mazi, what is most important to work at? Make sure and that abata no boda be a strong base. Because our people always like entertainment noise. The land borders have been so difficult for them to use. They have been trying it severally to use the land borders. And they get a whole lot of repelling. What did they do? They switch. Knowing the areas we do not have a comparative advantage. That is, I give it to them, to the Fulani terrorists. They are very smart and flexible in changing strategy. They look at what is workable and possible. But you believe in nonsense you believe. Even when it is undermining, even when it's destroying you, even when it's threatening you, that fixated mindset, as it was in the beginning, so shall it be to the world end. But look at the people we mock. Look at the people we mock. Because they're easy to make switch. Do you make switch? No. Now let's read further. Let's read further. We must understand where we are and what is facing us. It's bigger than social media noise. I call it social media noise because we do not understand. Who would have told the people in the north that a retired general will just be killed, picked and killed? If you have told them 20 years ago, they will say, "Not such a thing cannot happen." But it's a reality of today. It is a reality of today. It is a reality of today. 20 years ago, if you have told them, they say, today, if you tell people that if we slack, if we sleep, in the next 10 years, all of us will be a slave to these guys. Most of you will say it can never happen. By mere pronouncement, as if you're dealing with people who believe in confessions. What Fulani fears is fire to fire, not mere confessions. It has never stopped them doing whatever they want to do. It's better you understand that. Okay, he said the sources, including the security chiefs, a retired army general, said that, okay, we have read that. These terrorists started moving from Zamfara. They went through the bushes and forests and might have ended up in other states, including Imo and Abia. Some are even in Ogun State, a security chief disclosed. Now, let me tell you why we must understand and never play with this. In Nigeria, the whole Nigeria, no people have the advantage we have. I repeat, in the whole Nigeria, no people have the advantage we have. And what is that advantage we have? We are the only people. We are the only people that have successfully set up a non-government interfering security and defense line known as ESN and Mossad. M branch, the intelligence circle. No other people in Nigeria has ever done that. Why the Zamfara vigilante is collapsing is because they were all funded by the government of that region. And you know what? Whatever Nigerian government official established is for personal interest. Why did Amotoku die a natural death? Because it was established by government. And he died because nothing established by the Nigerian government can withstand a long-term pressure. Why are the Yorubas wailing and crying? Because Sunday Igboho along the line began to politicize. He allowed the politicians to buy him over. We are the only people who have successfully established a non-governmental defense line. But the truth remains, what we make out of it is very, very important. If we are not strategic, because the men and women of ESN are not media people. They are not media people. They are not media experts. They are good at their job. But on the side of PR, public relations, it is you and I that must polish their image. Because what is happening is that what others do not have, they think we have. They are envious and doing everything to malign, dent, destroy that image. It is normal. Whenever a government, whatever government cannot control, she does everything to blackmail it. And some of us, even in our idiocy and stupidity, we also want to associate these noblemen to the miscreants, infiltrators, the criminals. We are their criminals who use the Biafran name to kidnap people, destroy people's property. Yes, they are aware. The truth must be told. They are aware. Were they ESN? Of course they were not. But some of them were tailored into rubbishing that name. Some started answering ESN, and when the leadership was hammering on them, they moved to Umuoma. Some moved to Biafran Liberation Army. What we are saying is this: associating the noble movement with anybody that has to do with that is evil. Now we come back because we are facing, I was discussing with somebody a few minutes ago. I will soon open the line. This program is not meant to last long because tomorrow is always my program day. But somehow, I'm on medications. I'm having a kind of small fever, so I have to stay back, have some rest and all this. Probably stress because we hustle a lot. Now, we're in an era that we are going to face a severe issue. Severe issues are coming. The Nigerian intelligence sources are telling us, warning us. The leadership of this movement, through Chinas and Woru, has also warned us. So we should be so stupid to, put this under carpet. But let me tell us something. It doesn't matter how brave a people are. When people lack coordination, it becomes a danger to them. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how smart. It doesn't matter how wise and other positive accolades people attribute to themselves. Coordination, organization, discipline is the bedrock of their success. If the people are not coordinated, they will lose. If the people are not organized, they will lose. If the people are not disciplined, they will lose. Let me share a story to you because most of you, let me just share this story. I remember that was sometime 4 to 5 years ago. I made inquiry. I had wanted to go for study, a post-degree study to go and do masters and all the rest of them. And I decided to ask, I'm the type that I want to ask, make a broader information, know exactly, because you cannot know it all. In my own dialect, I say, Omena Karoha, Ugweji Akbeya. When you do and you tell people, you source opinions, you learn from people's mistake. Where you want to go, people have gone there. Some people have gone there, they made a mistake and they're regretting it. You might be thinking it's a good thing you want to do, but so I made inquiry and I asked a member of the leadership, I said, this is what I want to do. I want to go so place for study and all. Do you know what the person told me? This was 4 years ago. He said, Mazi Austin, look, we are doing everything possible to encourage our people to stay in the land, establish themselves in the land, probably have a business, do. I said, well, I'm a businessman. I'm somewhere running multiple businesses and I'm doing well in my businesses. He said, yes, well, we know, but we understand the psychological implication of encouraging our people to leave. Listen and listen. I repeat, he said, we understand the psychological implication of posing it to our people, to leave. He said, if we start creating that narrative, if we start putting that psychological signal to our people that everybody should leave, it will get to a time that we cannot have human sources of intelligence in our land. We cannot also have able men to defend the land. We cannot also have people overseas who want to come back, because it will look as if the land is desolate. This is what a member of a leadership told me 4 years ago, because they understand the minds of our people. They understand the psychology of our people. And they got that in order to make sure they stabilize the psyche of our people. Because nobody would want to fight for a desolated, isolated land, a land that is desolate. Nobody would want to fight. So you can only fight where you have human habitation and they are facing threat, not where everybody has pulled out. So when most of you people are, what is leadership doing? These are part of the psychological operation they have been running on our minds, making us to believe, stay. Because it's only when if everybody flee, or if everybody decide to run out of the land, who will defend the land? Who will gather intelligence in the land? Who will protect the land? And when they do all this operation, because you believe in noise making, your own understanding of war is when somebody makes a noise, without understanding the fact that the world has left that. People are now operating secretly. Every known nation is operating on that dimension. What has noise gotten us? Absolutely nothing. We make a whole lot of noise. We give ourselves, oh, billionaire Austin, this and that. Doesn't. Now, these are threats facing us. These are challenges we're facing. Those in Yoruba land are finding it difficult to solve the problem. They have realized the importance of having a defense line different from what government has offered. Because the government system is already polarized and infiltrated by these guys. The Yorubas are now thinking, let us form a system, design a system in the model of what the East people have, the Eastern Security Network. They want to replicate what we have. Why we that have what we have are trying to even destroy what we have. This is a great juxtaposition. It's really disturbing. People are referencing you. People are doing everything to copy. If you come to Biafran land today, you see an amazing decentralized security system. Most of you do not know how Biafran land is protected, well designed, how the security network in Biafran land is designed. Every community have their own vigilante. There are certain operations the vigilantes cannot go. They do everything to, gbakwa ụmụnna ndị nke ESN ka ha bịa rụọ ọrụ. There is a symbiotic understanding. And that is what we need. Some of you will hear Fulani did something in so place. And within few days, that problem is solved. Because our people, we are evolving into a system that is amazing. Ndị nke nọ na government security. Nwekwa ihe ha ga-ahụ atụlere alụ to ndị nke ụmụnna ndị ESN. And that is a design we must protect. Symbiotic. Every community has a vigilante. And that's why if they mistakenly hit us one, we bleed them. Fulanis are not careful of Igbo land because of anything. It's the formation you have put for yourself. Any day they are convinced that they can hurt you and they will not hurt back, they will overrun the place. But for the fact, they understand that if you hurt us, we hurt you back. No government comes to preach peace for anybody. We do not care. If there is anybody the government should specialize in preaching peace to, it is the jihadist, the Fulani terrorist. It is a Fulani terrorist. And at this time, some people are trying to destroy the system that is evolving into a greater institution of protection. And when you ask them, they say they are doing it because they love Mazi Nnamdi. That's how stupid they are. Is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saying because you love him, the entire Biafran land should be conquered because he's in Sokoto prison? He never said that. And I think that is the least he can think of. But do you know what? These guys think that when they are doing it, they are doing. Let me show you something very, very important. Let me project something so that I'm going to make a 3 projections, then make my analysis on that. Because when there are these people who believe that when they stand against, when they stand against their means of survival, that they are. Now, let's look at these 3 stickers. The first one is a let me educate. This is, of course, the poorly informed, self-acclaimed lawyer. He said, let me educate you. IPOB is a brand which begins and ends with its creator, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, Prince Darlington did a second sticker. He said, it is obvious that the people that have benefit more from this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu struggle. Take note of from this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu struggle, not Biafran struggle. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu struggle, not Biafran struggle. We are those attacking him badly. Now, the philosopher was, I think let me take it one after the other, so that you understand that better. Now, you all know the brand. Now, this is Prince Darlington. Look at what he said. It is obvious that the people that have benefited he wanted to say benefited more from this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He bolded it. Take note of that. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu struggle. He bolded it. Apart from the one Ikechukwu Onuoha did. Prince Darlington stating here that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu struggle, not Biafran struggle, not the Igbo struggle. Now, let me tell you something with psychophans. The danger of psychophans. Psychophans have nothing to lose. They have nothing to lose. Their business is to whitewash you until you run to a point that associates and true lovers will distance themselves from you. The same psychophants will switch loyalty, probably blame you, probably blame you, probably blame you. That is just what it is. You can imagine this boy who called himself Prince Darlington knows that people are supporting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu locally and internationally because of because of the Biafran struggle. He knows that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is known because of Biafran struggle. But do you see how they are trying to destroy a man of the people? Trying to now justify what the Nigerian government have been mocking us with, that it is Nnamdi Kanu business we are doing. Do you see how the dangerous narrative? When I tell you the worst thing that can ever happen to a man is to allow fools to round him. This is a time the promotion should be based that what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is fighting is for the cause of Ndigbo, the Biafran struggle at large. But because their level of irrational thinking, you could see what an adult put out there. Imagine somebody who is supporting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu strongly, reading this. So imagine somebody who is supporting Mazi Nnamdi Kanu on the basis that he's fighting for the Biafran struggle, reading this. Do you think the person will not start thinking otherwise? You know, they always tell you they love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but when you see how fully they speak, you will understand. Everything becomes so contradicting. How can somebody say it is obvious that the people that have benefited more from this Mazi Nnamdi Kanu struggle, and he bolded it to tell you that he wrote that with consciousness? He knows what he's doing. Trying to reduce a man who is fighting for the people's cause. Trying to reduce him. They have reduced him to family level, Kanus. They are now reducing him that what he's fighting is his own struggle. Not even the Biafran struggle. And this is coming from one of the minions. This is coming from one of the minions. Even though he is convinced that what MNK is fighting is his struggle, why going to the point of making it a public thing? To him, he must have done a very good thing. Just like Ikechukwu Noah, the self-acclaimed barrister, who foolishly branded the people's cause, people's journey, people's movement to a brand. Ejukwu also not go to school. Ejukwu also not mere law. And I wonder, where is the value of knowledge in absence of rational thinking? That is how terrible it is. That somebody could write this, that it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's struggle. You see, when you see people being loose, as in out of anger, got loose and speak unguidedly, it's because of the mess these guys have made. The mess these guys are making around. The mess they are making around. Even Donald Trump, let me give you a classical instance. Even Donald Trump, that has a movement, MAGA, he's enjoying the support of MAGA movement till tomorrow because he's still insisting that it's all about making America great. Any day his followers start sending out the signal that it is all about make Trump great, MAGA will be in colossal damage. That is what it is. Even MAGA, which is championed, founded by Donald J. Trump, is still maintaining that it is all about making America great again. And this minion is not letting the world to know that is no longer making Biafra great. It's not about restoring Biafra. It's no longer Biafran struggle. It is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu struggle. Then tell me tomorrow. The next thing you will hear, oh, Igbos are not worthy to fight for. Igbos always betray their own. These are stupid narratives people have put that does not have historical verifications. Anybody who tells you that Igbos hate themselves, Igbos do not, Igbos betray their leaders. Anybody that tells you that do not understand the history of Igbo man. When Ojukwu was leading the Igbos for fight of survival, Igbos stood for him. Igbo scientists rallied to make sure everybody gave his know-how. That is the Igbo for you. Igbo billionaires brought out their monies to prosecute the war. That is in the Igbo for you. Igbo women stood. That is in the Igbo for you. Ojukwu fought to a point. The global conspiracy was heavy. It was still the same Igbo who broke out the diplomatic channel that Ojukwu should escape and be safe. Igbo. So how did Igbo betray themselves or their leaders? Igbos do not have that history. Go and verify. Igbos do not have that history of betraying themselves. I studied history. So if you think I'm doing historical revisionism, you can correct me. But Ndibu has never. They didn't do it to Ojukwu. Even when Wazirike came, it was also Ndibu that rallied around him. It was also Ndibu that rallied around Wazirike, brought out their resources, supported him, gave him all the necessary support. So how will Ndibu always betray their leaders? Even when Wazirike had understanding with the Nigerian government, was it Ndibu that disappointed him or him that disappointed Ndibu? Let us face the fact. These are historical facts. When Ndibu brought out their support, their wealth, did everything for Ojukwu, paved the opened the diplomatic channel for safe exit. Even when Ojukwu decided to participate in Nigerian politics, he did that on personal ground. It was not Ndibu that even disappointed him. Even when he now said, oh, let me form a political party, Ndibu also rallied around that guy because of the love they have for him. So if anybody tells you that Ndibu always disappoint their leader, that person is talking rubbish. He's talking baseless, non-historical connectivity. Rather, it is the leaders that have been disappointing in the Igbo. It is some of the Igbo leaders that have been disappointing in the Igbo, not in the Igbo. The Igbo have never, I stand to be corrected. Show me a history where the Igbo betrayed their own. Show me a history. And I will show you how the leaders decided walk into a mess without even taking into cognizance the interests of Ndibo or the Igbo support. These are historical facts. When we talk historical facts. You can rant, but history is there. When Wazirike came, Igbo rallied. I could remember my dad used to bring his 608, 40 passengers capacity. We load people from Onimo, as from Owerri to Onimo. Free. He will fuel his bus, carry people. He never benefited anything. All he was yearning was a better society. I was little then. So, how do you call that betrayal? If you ask Wazirika will tell you. Wazirika is still reachable. Igbos gave him all the support he needed. Until at a time, he couldn't press on further. And when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came, it is also the Igbos that projected him, promoted him, placed him where he is. Who is who in Igbo land? Some brought their money, some brought their talents, some brought whatever they have to project him because he promised to lead them into freedom. And they did their best. The Igbo did their best. Igbos did their best. Every single one of us did our best. Those who do not have money brought their talents. Who do not have money brought their presence. Brought their presence. Some used their bodies as a shield, took bullet in preservation of their leader. And one idiot will tell me the Igbos always betray their leader. Do you know what you're talking about? Some made themselves a human shield. You will now understand what we're saying. That is what it is. But not when, out of miscalculation, leaders decide to act the way they want to act, then run into problems. You want to play emotional game. Hey, it is in the Igbo that betray. It's in the Igbo that this. No. It does not have historical correlation. For something to have a fact base, it must have a historical connectivity. It must have a historical connectivity. It must have a historical connectivity. I believe in historical facts. That's why you can cry, you can do whatever you do around me. I look at facts. Because even criminals cry. At the point of executing them, they cry. They shed tears. So cry should not be a base of my reaction. I shouldn't be reacting based on cry. Do you think that Osama bin Laden was killed? He never cried at the last point of his life? It's not more thing. It's not more thing for humans to shed tears. So, no, Igbos have never betrayed their leaders. Igbos have never. And you cannot take exceptional case of disagreement between leaders and other individuals. You now generalize it that is Igbo cause. Zik disagreed with Ojukwu because Zik has, he was so much westernized and deceived with this Pan-Africanist concept. So he wanted a bigger country where he can be a president of a big black race. But time has proven that his decision was so stupid. It was a stupid decision. You cannot say because Zik disagreed with Ojukwu, then Zik now represents the millions of Igbos. Or can you tell me now because of some of these young men who opened their page and disagree with IPOB, disagree with Mazi Nnamdi, you now tell me that they represent the majority of Ndibo who believe in IPOB, who believe in Mazi Nnamdi. Let us understand. So when somebody is writing this kind of nonsense, a struggle that people use their lives to protect MNK instead of him to be captured. And you are not coming to tell those people that all they did, though, they did it for MNK struggle. It makes people too mad. If it doesn't aggravate madness in people, it does aggravate in me. It does aggravate in me. If you tell me this kind of thing, my anger will be at the peak level. Because when I look at you as telling me that I have wasted the risk, the sacrifices I made, that I just made it just because of Mazi Nnamdi. No, I made it because of the self-determination he preached, and that all my support was based on that fact that he's leading on the pathway for self-determination. And when you say this kind of time, people react. You start talking rubbish. They are certain Mazi Nnamdi. Hey, you can see how Chikastin, like someone idiot was saying Chikastin is a member of the DOS because I am opinionating. So you mean I should just claim to be deaf and dumb? No, it doesn't work that way. That is not the beauty of life. Mazi Nnamdi told us that the beauty of life is the ability to rationalize. And that is exactly what I am doing. Post like this does not only endangers Mazi Nnamdi, it also endangers the generality of everyone who is talking about Biafra. It means he's a fraud. That is what this nonsense post debits. That is exactly what it debits. Yeah. That is what it is. You cannot tell somebody that, like, till tomorrow, until I leave the earth, the memory of my friend, Mazi Kingsley, cannot escape from my mind. Because we are so close. We suffered. We suffered together. We suffered together. Giving the best of our talent. He was a wizard. Or he is a wizard if he's alive. When it comes to video and photography. Today he's no longer here. And you tell me that he did that because of Mazi Nnamdi kind of struggle. Are you mad? Are you stupid? That is what it is. That is what it is. Or you're telling the little son of his who never saw the father because the wife was pregnant when the incident happened. You're telling the little boy, the lad, that his father is no longer here because Mazi Nnamdi cannot struggle. Are you stupid? Is something wrong with your head? Do you understand the severity of what you're saying? If it's Mazi Nnamdi Kanu struggle, do you think he can redeem the lives, the resources people have put in? Do you think he has the capacity to redeem them all? Ojukwu was, let go because he led the people fighting for Biafra. And people said, oh, our people died for the sake of Biafra. So Ojukwu has nothing to be accounted for. He has nothing to account because he led us to fight a noble cause of preservation. When it also gets to Wazirike is just there because Wazirike has never made it to know that all he did was his personal interest. Till tomorrow. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is also respected because he's still fighting. Any day he comes out to say everything he did was all about him. Any day he comes out to agree with posts like this, that it was him, all about him, he will be accounted for lives that died. It's just a bitter truth. It is a bitter truth. Nobody can hold Ojukwu accountable today because he fought for the interest of the people. Till tomorrow, Wazirika is still saying that all he fought is for the betterment of our people. And somebody now believe that tomorrow, Onyendu will say, oh, it's my brand, and it was my struggle. Then he will not be accounted for. He will not be subjected into accounting for it. That is just what it is. And when some people hear things like this, when we hear things, you start, hey, you can see, let's see what Augustine is saying. Oh, that when do ask for accountability, bro. But let me tell you, it's a reality of life. It is a reality of life. It is a pure reality of life. People should let us be on zero feelings. Feelings has nothing to do with us. It has nothing to do with what we are pursuing. Nobody can deny the fact that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu brought awakening, consciousness. Nobody has projected consciousness in the minds of Biafrans than Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You should understand that. Nobody, unmatchably nobody. But you cannot tell me that why the journey is moving all of a sudden, he now wants to subscribe to this kind of slogan. And you say, oh, it doesn't matter. No, it matters, bro. It does matter. At this very moment, I'll open the line so that those who want to call can call in. But what I'm trying to say is this. We are facing a severe security challenge. We must do everything possible to protect the land. It is only when the land is protected that we can even talk of Biafra. The Fulanis are beasts. They are soulless. If somebody is not driving our minds to this kind of nonsense, what unites us is Biafra. Very, very important to understand that. What unites us is the Biafran slogan. Biafra is the center of unification. If anybody coming to reduce it, for instance, if you buy into this, And remember, Wazirika also can also claim his own struggle. If Wazirika claims his own struggle, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu claim that this one is my own struggle. Probably others also claim will be randomly balkanized. I have the first caller, and first caller and Dewo.
Hello, good day, Mazi.
I greet you. Welcome for the program.
Yeah, my name is Mazi Nwafọ.
Agoma.
Udodolege.
Ndewo nwa Chineke.
Mazi, when I did na also jagali ji here. Mazi, I just know a kind of flashy news here when I was screening my Facebook yesterday. I just saw an interview made with also this it was if you watch his countenance, you will see that this guy is really, in fact, all the frustrated on whatever that he's doing and that thing. Here a man that was able to who every damn thing, but today also Jagali is here. Mazi, like, let me come to your topic where you were saying, you see why they are doing all these things. So these people are benefiting from insecurity. These people are benefiting from all these their stupid write-up. Are you telling me, Mazi, like you mentioned Kingsley Media, are you telling me that is why Kingsley, all this that go through us, everything that we've gone throughout this time up to this moment is because of Nnamdi Kanu's company? Or is it what Talentin is trying to tell us? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's, how did he even put it? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's struggle. Haba. I was a man who say Haba Ella boy. Is it what he's telling us?
Now, Mazi,
that the struggle that we have fought for, Mazi, people like Kingsley have.
Yes, you know Kingsley too well. You were one of the leaders. We run to. Hey man, yes. Like you watch our screen now. I made a 2 projection. This shows you that they don't even know what they are talking. Look at what Darlington is saying. He's saying, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's a struggle, isn't it?
Is he telling us that all the whole time? Is it telling us all the whole time we are coming to Afroku during the time that director came out 2017? We are coming, wasting our money, coming to Afroku, going to Abuja. You know how many times we go to? Is there any time that we don't go to Abuja? All the whole time director has been going to Abuja, 2016, 17, all those times. We send delegates, we go to Abuja. The first protest we had was in Abuja, Abuja Magistrate Court. The first time director came out in that court, we did that protest, that mega protest in Abuja.
Of course, no.
So for some of us that have been going on, we went for Abuja for complete 41 times. During that time, we counted it, and we carry full buses every time. You know about it.
Yeah.
So they're telling us all those times. Sometimes we will go tear gas. I did tear gas, sometimes I did coke, do all that things to sterilize it. All those things are so all those things is because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's struggle, not our own struggle, not the Biafran struggle. Well, is it a matured man that is speaking this thing for Christ, for crying out loud? And sometimes when I see all these posts or see when you are analyzing this, honestly.
Our question is shake. We are not saying this to get people, dumping the project. It's just to tell you, for you to understand that is a movement with mismultitude. Fools like you watch him project that they don't even know, they don't even have a common projection.
Yes. What I mean by he shaking with that, these people are they kids. At least they shall write up, get check at least the many analyze it. They are no longer kids now. Somebody will say you are fighting for somebody's struggle, something that has consumed life. Somebody that is 28 counting him, and I wear 28, he carried 28, but I went 28. died in his house for his own sake or for the sake of Biafra. People were pour chemical on, or the cause of going to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's house, and they are saying that it's Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's struggle. Okay, pattern dancer. I know that place. I know not 2 days there, but now I another one before him. So what are these people telling us?
I think I was hanging at Kanonta's place. You know,
okay.
Almost short. You know,
a lot of us, many of us. So I now. I watch that is people are now because these people we are fighting for. No, we are fighting for the sake of our freedom, for the sake of our born and unborn generation. We are fighting for Biafra because yes, as you've said, we accord him that respect that he has made this awareness. But he made this awareness does not mean that you own this struggle. If you own the struggle, what will Ojuku now say? What will Ojuku family now say? See, I will never be happy with our leader as long as that same place is still controlling the struggle, trying to do all these things. But thank God for our DOS. Thank God for all the whole thing that they have been doing. The high question, I need a question because each has front. Mazi Keletre Chineke na ishi ha. I na say ha no more maka ni higini ilahachi azowa udo dere gwa Chineke.
That is one of my leader. You know, when people do not understand this guy that just Mazi, just hold on. Hold on. I will give you a platform. You know, the person that just finished speaking now is my leader. I was under him.
Okay.
Yeah, I was under him. Mazi Nwafo was one of a great man, and Mazi Nwafo, of course, I was under him. I served under him with all commitment and loyalty. And that is what this struggle was all about. It doesn't matter who you are under. Once a person is your leader, Mazinde, were you here? You can go ahead.
Yes, I'm here, Mazi Austin. Mazi,
at the moment, I know for months over there.
Yeah, Mazi, we are highly watching your program, supporting it. Even when I wanted to share, they wrote there that this page has been reported. But meanwhile, you can share just for you to know what the enemy is doing. They are reporting your page so that this page can be blocked because you are standing to speak the truth without adding any sugar on it or honey. Mazi Austin, I remember those days when you and Mazi,
Bright Oriak.
Mazi Bright Oriak and one of our sisters.
Yes,
we are analyzing. Yes, we are analyzing every court case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in 2015. Trying to highlight the people what is happening in Biafra land, and every blessed morning I am watching you guys program. And are you telling me all those things you guys are doing those days? You are doing it because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
It's practically impossible.
Mazi, do you know what these people are doing? They are the foolish. The more they are doing this thing, the more they are making people to hate this man who has come to fight. Tell us, let's join hands together to go and bring Biafra. They are the foolish. This is Anum Pama that wrote this thing. But when are you telling me I was giving him money because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? I gave him money. I gave this Anum Pama, Darlington. I gave him money more than 3 times. I sent him money.
For
so
what?
I sent this money because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Aquamakagene on a struggle for restoration of Biafra.
I was doing it because many are on a struggle. We want to restore Biafra. When the mother died, he traveled home. I sent him money direct when he was in Israel. So the money I sent to him, also I supported him for the burial of his mother.
I want to keep a brand.
In case ya nke jega IPOB where so ya so Mazi Nnamdi Kanu jega is ya until ya see a lawyer today. Ene mi ego. Okay, me anwo. So do I give him that money because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or because of Biafran struggle? It's because of the work he was doing in this struggle that makes me to be able to use the money to support he went home and came back.
Unbelievable.
And Biafra makes sure we protected him until he last back. So in a good all of us will stay here. India achieve this man. Actually, this man, Biafrans will hate him. And let them be very sure. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be very sure. These people who do all these things, they are making Biafrans to turn because you could have seen in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but they are the ones who brought what make people to speak. Let us be honest. All of us are here because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told us we should come to join. Let's restore Biafra. And he told us that Biafra does not belong to him and his family. He said it in US. And he made bold to say that any day that Biafra found him wanted, that that we are going to reject him. Here, the life of Nnamdi was not supporting in your
Igbos have never disappointed their leaders. We have never
disappointed our leader. There's no leader.
At a time, other people are saying I want an error that we love to the end. We have never. You understand me? You see, here these guys in Susuge now projecting a man on a program. Mas, I don't know why Facebook could delete on a program 2022. But here they may say that they want to move to reduce this man at family level. You may hear government in them. Government is taking cognizance of all these things. When they see now that the people have all these provocative posts, now people have moved on without Onyendu, then Onyendu will be porous to be hot. Imanda, all these boys see they had in Zeus. Most of them are Akonuche. It's quite unfortunate. Maz, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mazi. I'm here, Mazi. So, in a nutshell, so that other people can speak. Okay. Mazi Austin, India na basukwa iwe, ekuo kita hasi na made ekuone. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, let's be honest, despite that we Biafrans has made him what he is today because in your Gwaraye, this Biafra Gwaraye, this Biafra to hurt our feelings because we can build you and we can destroy you. All the life of Ndabai. And when the more you look, the less you see. The same way that build you, we will destroy you. We will abandon him. Because we've been hurted so much. 2021, only April. Go ije. Many we are blackmail. People have died in 2021 because of one leader. And the people don't understand. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu work your private life. As a leader, you don't have private life anymore. Any mistake you make will cost the life of people. He knows that. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu knows that. Now, blood has been shed on his head. Blood, all this blood in Ila. You don't because of this Biafra nobody is happy. We are not happy. This one will say this leadership, we must support them with everything we have because all God with these people by now, IPOB, this experiment would have caused IPOB all over Europe, all over the world. Many countries will stop altogether.
Now. It could have been the end. Let us tell ourselves the truth. If they never fought and stood
because
on their ground.
That guy was in prison. That guy was in prison for terrorism. Many countries we copy it and stop us not to gather here in the Western world. Oh, that was the secret.
Of course.
I could say in this Western world so that Biafra struggle die. Even many people could then go against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Oh, we were with him and all this nonsense. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for 5 good years has kept silent. He never said anything about IPOB. He never said anything of the DOS. Even a guy would avid rising sun, support this, support that, 100 men. Some people are saying, oh yeah, but you know, only so Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or Drobi. There's nothing like emotion and sentiment here. Is he dumb and deaf? We got him discharged and acquitted. These lawyers, and also come. Blackmail this man. We have more than the Kanu pays on and support this struggle. That want him alive. I naga protest. We went to Kenya embassy. We protested. And what Uhuru Kenyatta because of his ordinary rendition. So in Agua in the Kenya, their president in Agua in because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. These people are stupid. How the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu make this program? Yeah, got these idiots, these flying monkeys. Happy so the command of the Biafrans that if he can return, because the more they are doing this thing, the more they are causing harm on him. People respond from this thing. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be bold enough to accept it, because all these flying monkeys, this nonsense, not this struggle. This is personal business. IPOB receipt here. IPOB. So I'm almost here. The money.
That is what it is. Remember, the people, the love our people when it's quite unfortunate. Many people have been calling, but I don't know. I find it difficult to moderate people when people want to talk. Just feel like they have their way, you know. Okay, we must continue. We must continue. Very, very important. We must continue. Mazi, are you there?
Hello, Mazi. Yeah, I'm here. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Am I coming out loud?
Yes, loud. You are loud.
You know, this social media something. You will not know when the speaker just finished and when you're supposed to call. So
yeah.
Sometimes if you target it to be disturbing the person's broadcast. But thank you for calling back. I say, may Elohim bless you, Mazi.
Thanks so much.
You know, what our people need to understand when it comes to these issues of Onyaku. You know, an individual opinion is never an institutional opinion, and it's never a government opinion.
Exactly.
And this understanding has to be in the minds of our people. And this thing have been lingering because the government have been using it as a tool in order to undermine or to bring down or to even belittle our struggle. Because in the minds of some people, you know, and our people have this childish talent attitude that as an issue that is as important as freedom fighting, as the issue that is in Nigeria, they give time to it as in and these are the people that is causing most of this thing, this opera here and there, because they keep bringing to you because when it comes to the people that is in this struggle, the IPOB members and the people that is aware of where we are, where we are going, nobody is confused. And if there is any response from any one of us, it is to sensitize the public. You understand? But we should have this thing as a knowledge that the government is using these things as a means of distraction. If they are not doing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or Sibyl or Avid, they will be doing Ijele. Ijele is in the east. Ijele is with security. This other person said. So all these things we know that these things they are the antics of the Nigerian government in order to bring distraction, divide us, and they know that collectively there is no way that anybody can defeat us or derail the struggle. Like if you are in the streets, you keep having even tiring questions, because you see somebody ask you questions that have been answered since 15 years ago or 10 years ago or 8 years ago. You'll be asking yourself, where have this person been? People are not active when it comes to the issues of Nigeria. And let me tell them that these issues are not the things you overlook, because as it is now, Nigeria is in the stage of collapse, total collapsing. Either it collapses in the hands of the farmer, or it collapses in every region or every ethnic group. But it will collapse on that aspect. It depends on what are we doing individually or collectively or as a people or collectively. That is what I want to say. So, and before I go into this very issue again, we should know that Nigerian division is a certain, and I don't think we have much work. In as much there is a lot of work, but I want to put it this way because of what I want to what I want people to understand, that the Nigerian state itself is destroying itself. So with that, it makes it more easier for us. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
The Fulani is on the rampage, and they are all over Nigeria with the help of Western world. So it is high time we come together with an organization that Elohim has used in blessing us. About spirituality. I believe in both, but I don't derail myself with fact and what I'm supposed to do as a human being. Because I believe that I'm the hand of Chukwu. If there is anything God wants to, want it to work out in life, it is through human beings. That is why we say that God is never in lack of human beings, but it is through a positive human being, people that is alive to the responsibility and what is happening. So back to what I was saying, Nigerian collapse is inevitable, but it will be very, 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 very sad and very, very foolish of us that if we allow it to collapse on our heads without we being able to get our own sovereignty, which is the only thing that can preserve us as a human being. We could video, we could siblings, on all of those things. It will be a very, very, very disastrous. And the only means we have to do this thing is these very people that have come out, present a very, sustainable means to confront this issue. Because in all of these things that I just mentioned, all of them are just come and go. All of them are just there for material things. I don't know why we should be, preoccupied, especially not people in IPOB, not the media, because what we are saying, my mother be saying I am a media war. No, I am queen here, my candidate wiki hotally. So now I don't know why you should be preoccupied with this individuals' distractions that is being paid or foolishly saying this thing that they're saying out of hatred or ignorance. So we are here, and presently now, what we need to put our mind in, if you are a member of IPOB, if you are a lover of freedom, if you are a 1 million listener, that you listen and you go back to your business thinking that is where it is, that is where it ends. IPOB is the body you need to hold on to. IPOB have preserved our land within all these years that the Fulani have been rampaging in Nigeria. So it is high time we, do the needful than beating around the bush, because as it is now, before this year runs out, we'll be seeing lots of things. When you go to the southwest, it is all rampaging. In the north, all these places have been ravaged. So we should not be in this individual distraction. And immediately I am according to the Kogu. And in a The Fulanis are not playing. If you watch most of their clips, you see them indoctrinating a 4, 5, 6, 7 years old in how to shoot. These are people that knows that they need you.
Exactly.
You as an individual that is hearing our voice, what are you doing? Are you just sitting on the sideline? If you're sitting on the sideline, look, we will just be wanderers. And you see what is happening to our brothers in South Africa, in all of the places of the world. Everybody's, consolidating their territory. We need to do the same thing. Mazi, I say, may Elohim bless you, bless the leadership.
Yeah.
That is where I'll come now, because if I should continue, I will not go out from here. I say, may Elohim bless you.
Yeah, man.
We are still,
I appreciate that wonderful contribution. Is really but there's a reason why we tell all this, because if we do not consolidate, if we don't build support the institution, definitely we'll shoot ourselves on the face. Nde, were you there? Good afternoon from here.
Yes, my brother, I'm here.
You're welcome. You're highly welcome.
Okay. Yes, good afternoon, my brother and lovers of freedom who are listening to your program. Mazi, thank you. Yes, I want to touch a little bit on the point you made at the very beginning of your presentation. That is about being consistent. When you start a freedom movement, a freedom quest, you don't do it haphazard, start and quench, start kick and start and kick and stop. No, you continue. And that is why the topic or the notion or the project our leadership, the Directorate of State have now to institutionalize IPOB. Not that it wasn't an institution before. We know in our hearts of hearts that it was an institution, but to make it a very strong institution that can weather every storm, be it resignation, be it expulsion or suspension, or even death. As I must continue to say, is that a movement for restoration or for independence that cannot, survive all these, factors I've named. It's not serious.
It's not serious. It's
so
not
what
serious.
I'm saying is that
exactly.
Go ahead.
I mean, it's not serious. I totally agree with you.
So what I'm saying is that we must continue to support the leadership that is institutionalizing this movement, so that we can continue, and we will be assured that every contribution, financial or material, even time, even heartache and pain that we put will not be for the glory of one man or one family or just thrown away, and we become what? We become disposable. Just use them for one moment, maybe a few years, and throw them, and then you form another group that will be, more zealous and what do you call it? More zealous and more consistent, and without asking questions, what's happening? What are we doing? Where is our funds going? We are not, God help me, we are not contributing, we are not donating, we are not depriving ourselves just for the sake of doing it. We are putting, anybody who is putting their time, their material, their finance is to help the restoration of Biafra. So there's one point or two I want to make in this. I will not be long, my brother. One is, I hope that Mazi Kanu is here listening, or that people who are telling us that Mazi Kanu is holy, who I just saw that they are here, they can relay this message to. Mazi Kanu must tell those who assert that they love him the most these days, he must tell them never to say on his behalf that Biafra is his own private business and private brand. He can do and whatever he wants and when. And he must tell them not to say it on his behalf. Even his council, what do you call it? Lead counsel, Ejimako, he said it again. He's saying it for his client. He's doing it for the client. He's the mouthpiece of his client. His client is the originator. He who doesn't like IPOB, let him get out of line. And I give this analogy. If you, myself, or myself here, I start what you call a social club, and now that social club, people come, congregate, and then that social club wrote a constitution. That social club has oath. That social club has code of conduct, and they have what you call guiding principles like we have in IPOB, consistency, discipline, and command and control, and all. After a while, either you have problem outside or within the organization or within the club, now you come and tell them, everybody get out, this was my club. Is it done? It's not done. And then, so what am I driving at? Yes, one thing else I want to tell our leader, Mazi and Kanu, to tell those who love him the best, the most, they love Biafra the most, they love mankind the most. We who have been demonstrating and contributing the best of our lives and meager finances for over 10 years, we are not for Biafra. We don't love Mazi and Kanu. He must tell them to stop referring the hallowed Directorate of State as ex-DOS. They must stop, because he told us, Mazi and Kanu told us that God chose the Director of State, the present crop of Director of State, that God chose them by himself. Now, Mazi and Kanu, people who are hearing me, but we relay this message to him to stop calling the Director of State ex-DOS, because if they continue it, people will, out of anger and out of getting even, start calling Mazi and Kanu ex-leader of IPOB, and he don't want that. Mazi, you can do.
Something made me to be just laughing. You can imagine people who are using their personal resources, contributing for the success of the journey, are now haters of Mazi Nnamdi. When those who are receiving stipends are the lovers, man, is quite contradictory. I must tell you, is quite contradictory. But nevertheless, welcome, Azinde. Were you there?
Yeah, thank you for calling back. Thank you so much.
I appreciate. Sorry, we had a lot of traffic. So I know.
That's why. Yeah, that's why I didn't call back. So, brother, I'm so glad because of what on how you expose things, on your analogy, everything else. I'm so glad I've been following you all this while.
Thanks so much.
But I don't want to talk about those guys that are making noise online. I don't want to go there. They don't want nothing. I'm only concerned about Mazi what he said about this thing, because I read his post, I think last week, when he said that they are coming. And whatever he said, I took it so seriously because I know that he's genuine, and whatever he says is what is coming. So I've been so worried. And this one again, I saw what when you are mentioning this now. My question is this: I've been trying to, although I'm paying my dues though, but I want to be contributing online, like not support ESN online, but each time I put in my information, they will ask me for this PayPal. I don't have the Google PayPal here, so because of this fraud going on, so I don't have PayPal. So how do I pay without using my PayPal?
Okay, Mazi, I'm not really informed in respect to the financial channels of that, but be rest assured, after this program, I'm going to link you up.
Okay, please, because that's what I'm really concerned about. I don't worry about those charlatans. I don't care about they're worthless to me. I don't care about them. So please get back to me. Tell me how to be paying online without PayPal, please. Thank you so much.
Be rest assured, I will do that, sir.
All right, thank you so much. Have a good day, man.
Thanks so much. Okay, we also have to get to. There are a lot of callers here, but what I do is, even though I miss your call, I get back to you. Okay, Mazi Keko, are you here?
Yes, Mazi, we go to the watching it. Am I coming out clear?
Yeah, you're coming out loud and clear.
Mazi, are you a US member?
Eh?
A US member, yes, I'm asking you.
When the position of Jina Iane Memi, I wasn't here with US. Ole be came to when.
I'm not man going about the US. I don't know. I will still be asking everybody because the kind of attack and the propaganda, people who call themselves old guys in this trouble, anybody that come out to say the truth is a US member. When we talk about hatred, we don't hate Mazi Nnamdi. We only criticize, or I don't know how to put it in a better English.
Sorry. Before you also go ahead, it's also important I let our people should know that even you are not a member of the DOS.
I've been saying it, Ramaz. I say it always, even on Twitter. I say it even on my page. Nobody, no national coordinator is a DOS member. I have said it time with that number. Maybe you're not there when I said it. So anybody who is gallivanting or coming to tell you secretly or anywhere that is a US member, my brothers, let us know who is that person, especially those of us that is in this struggle. The US member, all of us know them. And I don't think they have done any updates to tell you who is US member or who is not US member. The US members, we know them and nothing has changed in their position.
No.
So that Mazi, thank you for that clearance. Yes, very, very important. So I saw your analysis this afternoon, and like always, my brother, you always, when you have a better chance like this, you do analyze very, very large from the extent for our people to understand the truth of the matter and what is going on. Now, I want to break it down like what Mazi Chinasa wrote about GFs. These people coming. If they will still be the ones that will come out tomorrow and ask, where is the ESN? The ESN, they never supported. The ESN, they said we should stop giving them money. Now they will start asking. One will say it, people will not understand. And there's nothing the family of Nnamdi is doing about it. They are not talking about it. They are not saying anything. What they are interested is only brand of IPOB and how the country we are is going to tax us and make sure that they bring us down. Biafrans, why we are saying this thing is that they will come and tell you, go and open your own. Why are you not allowing yourself to stay on the Mazi Nnamdi? Now I ask them questions, even you, Mazi, because we are here to do critical arguments. Why did Mazi Nnamdi didn't have patience to Wazirike? Why didn't you wait and continue with Wazirike? Why did you pull away from Wazirike? I want Biafrans to ask that question. Since they want questions, we need to ask questions now. Because I saw the analysis you made here, very wonderful one. Listen, we don't here to follow anybody. Even me that is talking, if I mess up tomorrow, Biafrans will come after me, regardless of the friendship or what you think me and you have done before with business. We are here for a serious matter, which is Biafran restoration, which people have died for what they believe. So there is no sentiment, Mazi. No sentiment. The way we criticize our leaders today, like our politicians, we collected enemies with them and turning around, seeing people like the family of Mazi Nnamdi, his brothers, going back to the same people. Mazi and today, me and you cannot be both to go and talk to these people, but they can be both and go to their house and eat together with them. That's what we are saying is also a message. Nobody hates Mazi Nnamdi, and Mazi Nnamdi is seeing all those things and is keeping quiet. Today, you sanction and they move honorable guys who came this struggle with all their mind. Imam messed with them, all of them. That guy have died 4 or 5 years ago because of Biafra International.
But today you urge your brother to open the same radio which you never talk about, even before you are sentenced in Sokoto. You never talk about that one. But every day is SDOS. You people have tagged them X. And what are you disturbing yourself again? Allow them to take their S and go. How Walla X? I don't know why you are still disturbing yourself. Every day, Kanu will come to the program of in case that even told us how their mother was doing everything in this struggle. Now you go back to him. And that is the truth. I saw the guy talking. Because you play a speech and you bend down to leak that speech again. How is you we are? How is you now? You are the one that told the king everything that happened in that palace. You are the one that told us everything that they did in that palace. Now today again, you are telling us that the person is the best. Mazi, I cannot be that type of man. So I want to appreciate you, my brother. Today, Kiji, we must continue until we get it right, regardless of who is in the struggle or who is in front. Mazi, thank you so much.
Ndewo, Mazi. That is one of us, the Italian National Coordinator, Mazi Keke Oda. Okay, we also we're trying to get other people too. Maz, are you there?
Hello, Maz,
Ndewo. Good evening from here.
Good evening. I know you're working up from my location. Last time I come to Legi now again. As no, I see you doing good. Yamana and Kone made him. Follow you now some of your program, though I'm not my way cable. I am meaning you were passing ndị kwuru okwu ekwuchago ihe niile m kwesịrị ikwu, but ihe nọ dị ya wụ na alikere m otu Biafrans si respond, because ọ bụrụ na okwu a na-adapụtara few years ago, let's say 5 years ago, enwere ike akpọ na program ọsọ mba ka a ga na-aba, but gwa m ji akpọ na awụ ime Biafrans encourage, I recommend ha na their maturity, because I do also kind before. I need follow the things critically. Nobody who know more mother. You know, metego DH rule tap. You may have a dog in me giving no matter when you me walk me walk out for. So I am you go open, because I try me because I'm trying you method account also you now on ahead because this narrative on ahead Mazi non air na maybe arrest some attack his attackers. All these things are they push now. That claim on a hell over there. All these things are they push now to the also now. Attack then.
Yes.
So God
bless you.
All these people.
God bless you. I'll be we are following a man's business. So
yes. So na just when does he mean all this? Now these people the fake account when they make Nnamdi color attack then how does they push here now? Or he had to really go na or him na Joe when
No. Also one all the enemies, all those people who fought Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the past, they're always fighting on the ground that not somebody's business, personal business kind. And we fought against that narrative. We fought against it. Now, why are these boys coming back now to start pushing the same narrative? The enemies of
because another thing to because a program some years ago, I think deputy leader Ike would operate on a struggle. Even when programming anchor tied to their statecraft. As in when
afọ m ihe ndị kwuru taa m chọrọ ịrụta aka na few things isi ihe a na-eme na-enwe isi ndị anyị na-achọ ịgba aka napụta ha nwere onwe anyị na-adị etinye ọgba aghara so that ihe a nwee isi instead of concentrate ịrụ ọrụ ka obodo dị mma etinye anyị alụsawa onwe anyị ọga afe live nọ ihe na-eme na but ebe m si ihe na-enye m obi si ike wụ na based on course a na-akpọ nna ha afụ the majority of ndị be anyị awụọzi tata so jisi ike ka m kwụsị ebe a ka ndị ọzọ nwee ike continue jisi ike Chukwu gbaa gị ume. Ndewo.
Okay, that's from our brother. I will also have other callers. Thanks for that contribution. Kewezoku na posts like this are not pushing a good image for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Take it or you leave it. Posts like this you're saying, I believe what Elochukwu, I might have a disagreement with him, but I think he is also disagreeing with these guys, because for Elochukwu on Hagi to put up this story, this post, repeat after me, IPOB belongs to the people, but IPOB has a leader name. I think he's totally disagreeing with them. I'm not in friendship with him. For some time that side has been, reduced to a BRS minimum. But I also commend the fact that he refused to agree with the nonsense. Because, one thing our people do not understand these days, this struggle, if you see everybody that speaks, like Onyanka Kuchana, I don't know him. I've not met him from Adam. Who he is, I don't know. Where he's speaking, I don't know. Where he's speaking from, I don't know. There are most of you who are watching this program. You know your background. You know your status in the society. When I talk, most of you are experts in psychological field. Some of you are secret agents of global intelligence. Best, yes. We have really spoken to people. And when I am writing or I'm speaking with the mindset that everybody at my level, I will make a whole lot of blunder, because I can control what I will say. But the truth remains that interpretation, how people receive it, processing matters. When the likes of Darlington rise with the mindset that he's writing to people with his own level, to the extent he ended said to fear Kunu, derogatorily, he doesn't know that all of us are asking for Biafra. But the truth is, I could remember there's this woman, a coordinator in UK. She is a human resource person in British government. I'm not telling you that he's working in a company in UK. A British government legal department. He's a high-profile resource person. And he's a coordinator in this movement. So if I'm talking, and I'm talking with the mentality that everybody will at my level, or everybody who at the level beneath me or below me, I will keep on making a whole lot of blunder. All these guys, including self-acclaimed barrister, the likes of Osonji, when they write, they equate people to be at their level. Let me sound this as a warning, and it's important. Nothing disgusts people in a movement than when charlatans are putting up disgusting messages. I want to resource people in IPOB. IPOB want what it takes. But when you're not telling people high-profile personalities, human resource persons scattered all over the world, who are members and sympathizers of this cause, when you're not telling them that all the human assets they are putting for this project is for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu struggle, or Mazi Nnamdi Kanu brand, like this moron stated, what you force them is to withdraw that. Onye dịka Soji, we do advocacy at international level. Ogochala ọnụ mmiri asụ na camera. So when we tell these people, ọnụ mara ekwu, vocality does not debit na ịmara na ekwu. It doesn't. In any way, moderation in whatever we are doing is important. But thank God, even among these minions, the like of Ohagi, I know he has a deep disagreement with them by saying, repeat after me, IPOB belongs to the people. And that is it, IPOB belongs to the people. We might have areas we disagree, but I agree with them. And that is maturity. Onye mete nke ọma, we shall applaud, irrespective of his political or social affiliation. You give the person. Very, very important. Okay, we have Mazi Patrick. He came on the line. Let's have Mazi. You're welcome.
Mazi.
Ndewo. You are live and direct.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mazi.
Ndewo.
Thank you very much for your coming regularly to educate and enlighten our people. I just barge into your program and I try to follow to see the direction the argument is going, or the dialogue is going, or conversation, whatever.
Ndewo.
And I saw the things you posted on the screen of your broadcast, and Emma, the truth is that people posting all these things, like the likes of Usoji, the other one that called himself barrister in the lawyer in South Africa, Benjamin, they know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is online, monitoring their online activities. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So each and every one of them is trying to be as patriotic as possible to him.
So sad.
It's like when you are fighting to be noticed by somebody you have high regard for. You understand what I'm saying? Among themselves, there is this kind of struggle to show patriotism to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and that leads to psychophancy. And the moment you get to that point where you become a psychophant, your sense of reasoning shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It shuts down automatically. Whatever comes to your mind that you feel will gladden the heart of the person you are seeking his attention, you just sit back and you look for something that will gladden his heart. You go out there because you know that he's following your post. You understand what I'm saying? But at the same time, they continue to damage his image without being conscious, because their sense of reason have already shut down. So they don't even sit back and look at what they post. Their own is something they will do to make Mazi Nnamdi Kanu happy. That is just what, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Because in their mind, they feel people are attacking him. They feel that people are against him. So they are trying to give him that sense of relief, to see if he can at least make him still they feel saying gets more support base. That kind of a thing. So they try to create a fan club for him, where they will praise him, sing praises. We did all those before. So psychologically, I understand where they are coming from. At some point, we sang is our Savior, and we even said that he's our Jesus Christ. You understand what I'm saying? Considering the level that we were at the time, which for me, I still regard him as a leader. Nothing have changed to some extent, but with the reflection of things that have gone by and where we are today, some of us feel some sort of disappointed. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The revelations, with the kind of the knowledge we've come to obtain, that is not what we were told that we are seeing. You understand what I'm saying? That is why you see a lot of uproaring. That is why you see a lot of people kind of having a kind of critical thought about the whole episode. You understand what I'm saying? Which is natural. Which is natural because when people's loyalty is being trampled upon, when people's loyalty is being taken for granted, or when people perceive that their loyalty is being taken advantage of, it raises some level of alarm. You understand what I'm saying?
You're quite correct.
Yes. So what you see, the reaction you see today is that people feel that their loyalty have been taken for granted. That there is an abuse of authority somewhere, that there is an abuse of power somehow, that there are some corruption tendencies, that what we hold is not what we are seeing. You know, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu raised high standard, and that created a high level of expectation on the part of our people. No, so coming out to find out that the standard that was actually raised was not there in reality. You know, it gives some sort of that disappointing feeling. You understand what I'm saying? You know, and every day we'll continue to see a situation where even though people now understand better, where instead of owning up to some of the mistakes, they are using propaganda and blackmail to cover the mistakes. That is even a more dangerous
precedent.
You understand what I'm saying, Mazi?
Yeah.
Because what makes a leader even genuine is your ability to own up to mistakes and reaffirm, reassure the people that yes, mistakes have been made, but I'm ready to make changes, I'm ready. But trying to use blackmail and propaganda to cover, I have lived in the Western world for the past 22 years. And that is one thing I love about Europeans. If they make a mistake, if they wrong in any way, especially in leadership position, you see that soberness in them. You see them come clean. You understand what I'm saying? Because the essence of coming clean is to rebuild confidence. But I said, as we now, typical Africans, and it's not different from what we see from our political circle, where you see our politicians try to intimidate people, using intimidation to cover their crime. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Rather than what we were experiencing in IP, it's not shortfall of what we're experiencing in Nigeria so far. What we've experienced in IPOB, everything that you see these people introduce, what is it called? The siblings of Mazi Nnamdi, including our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself, it's not different from the same Nigerian political character. Because this is the only system we understand. This is the only system we know. Now, coming to institutionalization of IPOB, when we talk about institutionalization of IPOB, to a very large extent, people believe that it's about power struggle. People believe that it's about power struggle. For the fact that they know that they have taken advantage of IPOB, they feel that the institutionalization of IPOB is going to deny them some of the privileges that they have been enjoying. You understand what I'm saying? But one thing I want to reaffirm here is that IPOB is already an institution. Considering how the setting is, you have the Directorate of State and all the organs that manages affairs. Because it's important that we make our people understand that IPOB already has an already existing institution. But the truth of the matter is, the institution that was set up by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a very, very weak one. The institution that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu set up is a weak institution because one single leader, yes. Hello?
As a result of what made it weak? What
makes it weak is when you have one person like in the position of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, flex power to the point that he undermined this institution. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
It weakens the institution. And this is exactly what we're experiencing in Nigeria, where you have Nigeria have institutions, but what you have are weak, very, very weak institutions that cannot even hold leaders accountable. You understand me? And this is the same thing we are experiencing in IPB. The IPOB, this institution that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu put together was put together in such a way that he cannot even be held accountable. Talk less of his own family members being held accountable by the institution. And they have continued to undermine it because their ability to undermine this institution also help in weakening it. You understand what I'm saying? And that is why you see somebody like Kanu to council sit at home that he didn't the sit at home that everybody agreed upon and say we are the Directorate of State said we are going to use sit at home as instrument to force Nigeria to give access to lawyers and families of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when he was brought back from Kenya. Kanu went ahead to council sit at home that was announced by the structure of IPOB and the Biafran people. It shows you that they themselves doesn't see this institution. They have no respect for this institution as far as they are concerned. The institution that IPOB has doesn't even exist to them. They feel that they have more power above this institution.
Is all right?
Because everything.
Mazi can now be run off so that we'll get others as well.
Okay, let me round it up. Now, what we are talking about is strengthening this IPOB institution now in such a way that it can no longer be undermined by anybody. And the more we try to do that, the more we expect reaction. So, Mazi, let me hand off so that others can call it. Thank you very much.
Okay. That is, we are trying to see how we can soon be rounding up the program. But let's also have one or two calls, and then we'll come to the end of this program. We'll have, I think, done about 2 hours, 30 minutes. That is really incredible, unlike me. Okay. Good evening from here.
Hello, good morning, Mazi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. The platform is yours.
Okay. All right. So, good morning, and good morning, every Biafran that's listening. Mazi, I'm so proud of you because it's so hard for me to get you live, but I usually will listen. And honestly speaking, if you can't come on more, I know you're busy. I know you have a lot of businesses. Forget about the people that thinks it's all about, getting stipends and all that stuff. So, but anytime you come on with a lot of historical evidences and, speak with so much knowledge. So that's very, very commendable.
That's so much. That's so much.
So that being said, though, Mazi, I wanted to say that when we talk about institutionalization of the indigenous people of Biafra, these people are giving everybody the more reason why it is important to strengthen that institution. Just like the caller just finished said, there is an institution in place. So, but strengthening that institution to the point where the institution has leverage over every individual is so important. Because if this movement has been institutionalized from the get-go and the movement topples every individual, we wouldn't be saying or doing what we're doing right now, wouldn't be going through what we're going through right now. We wouldn't see anybody coming to talk about branding, talk about, it's owned by an individual. You can't do that with that. It's strengthen the institution. So they think that they are wise, but what they are doing is actually giving people the more reason to come to terms with the importance of strengthening this institution. And they have no idea that what they're doing is actually waking a lot of people up to understand that, we didn't get it right before. So it is important that everybody rallies around the Director of State so that they can strengthen this institution so that sometime down the line, no individual is going to rise and say, this is mine. It is my personal business. It is whatever, So let them keep writing. Let them keep talking trash. But guess what? They are going to be getting more people off the bandwagon to join exactly what is going on. So that's that. That's that on the institutionalization of the thing. And then another thing that I wanted to talk about is, regardless of what they do, I just want them to understand that people's blood has been spilled. So if they don't have hearts, let them have hearts for the innocent blood that has been spilled on all this nonsense that's going on right now. Because at the end of the day, those blood are never going to be quiet on them.
Exactly.
People should be very careful when you do things. It's not all about money. It's not all about sycophancy. It is not all about all that stuff. You have to think beyond your nose to understand what you're doing. Understand people who are still being held today in prison. And now we're talking about, see what is going on in Nigeria. For the life of me, I don't understand why anybody at this point will be dragging the leadership. Why everybody will not rally around and say, okay, what are we going to do to keep these bloodthirsty people out of our land? That is important. And if you do like MNK, like you said, how many times have you done anything to see to his release rather than attack and blackmail and all that stuff? So they don't love him. How many of them, at least the men amongst them, they have wives? Have they thought about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's wife and what she has gone through? The women that should know better are the one that even pisses me off. You can't even think about this woman, what she has gone through as a woman. And you have the temerity, the audacity to come online to trash this innocent woman that has gone through so much. People should understand that whatever you do, when you kick a can down the line, it's there waiting for you, because you're gonna come to eat that can. So it's so disgusting to see what they're doing. So disgusting. And Mazi, finally, I'm so sorry. Finally, when you talk about these men, do you know who Mazi Chikadozem is? This is a well-learned man that has his own law firm. You think he is a trash? You think he's a miscreant? Do you know what the deputy, what's his name? The deputy to Mazi Chikadozem.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly, but he is well-learned as much. I might not know everybody else, but I know within. Yes, exactly. So I know that within the Directorate of State, we have well-learned men and women that are high up there. And you're sitting in your little corner and you think you can trash them? You think you know better than they do? Think again. Even you, Mazi Chika-Austin, even you, Mazi Chika-Austin, a lot of these people can't stand you, where you speak. They can't speak there. They can't. But they look at you, oh, it's Chika-Austin, and then they just say whatever. Listen, people should get sense. And like you rightly said, our people never disappoint leaders.
Yeah.
Rather, it is the leaders that has disappointed our people.
They have never.
Yeah.
We cannot relegate. We cannot relegate historical evidence for emotional evidence.
Yeah.
Because people say this, they want us to just rely on what sentiment and emotions have presented. Oh, it was people don't, they betrayed their leaders. And I'm asking, give me one single evidence.
Exactly.
And none is coming forth. But you want me to keep on believing that. And I'm telling you that historically, some Igbo leaders have disappointed Ndi. But do you know what?
Yep.
Ndibo will allow them to, see old age and retire by themselves. So you cannot just come up, you want to malign a people out of sentiment, out of emotion. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't in any way. Thanks so much for calling in. I quite appreciate.
Yeah, thank you, Mazi.
Yeah, thanks so much. So that is what it is. These are things we try to tell our people. I stand to be corrected. I stand to be corrected. Ndi Igbo have never betrayed their leaders. Show me one historical evidence and I will show you many. Take note of that. This idea, you can go elsewhere and do your sentimental pushes. Such a thing doesn't work for me and will never work. It does not work for me and it will never work. So it's important we understand that the essence of this program is to call our attention to what is coming. China Sanwo-Olu said it. Now, let us put hatred and sentiment aside. China Sanwo-Olu has, in most cases, said things that we saw them happening. Not because one spirit entity told him, not because any entity told him. It lies solemnly on intelligence. Take note of that. Okay, let's hear our brother. Good evening from here. Oh shit. Okay. Are you there? Are you there? Seems the network. Can you hear me?
just like our sister said, you are doing a great work.
Thanks so much.
Doing a great work for the Biafran people.
Thanks so much.
Yes. All right. And I also want to just also, add my voice to also retrace that you see that teaching you made about, presenting historical facts and evidence to actually make the point that historically, the Igbo people, and even if you like, by extension, the Biafran people, have not been proven to betray their leaders. Okay? But just like as he said, if you look at the history, you will not find out that it is actually for reasons for which we are commending you now for doing what you did today. That is why those kind of narratives have actually taken hold in our societies in the time past. Here's what I mean, right? The same enemies of our collective enemies. I mean, the Nigerian state, the West, the Yorubas, the North, the British, who actually understand us so well, Mazi. You will be shocked that they are actually at the forefront of using their own media preponderance to actually push that same narrative of, the Igbo not supporting their leader, knowing fully well that the opposite is the case, right? So you now, if you have that one at the back of your mind, you will now, for someone like me, I would have to appreciate more your decision to actually highlight this very issue today, because let's just tell ourselves the truth. We will either put our feet forward and push the right narrative about us, or we will run the risk of also just standing by tomorrow, and right before our eyes, some people will come tomorrow and try to twist the whole narrative that somebody was leading us and was captured and we turned our backs on him. So it's actually very, and that's actually the scheme they are already playing. They are actually already on that trajectory. All of this kind of shenanigans they've been pushing for some days now, telling you about the brand, about this, about that. They are already trying to water the ground to push that narrative of saying, I will not disappoint you, you will disappoint me. And
Mazi, tomorrow usually be my door program, and I'm strictly going to discuss on the symbiotic relationship between the Igbo nation, let me use the Biafran nation and her leadership. I have made extensive research on this. The surprising thing I want to tell you here is this. I'm shocked to see evidence where the people betrayed any of their leaders. And I have made, for the past 2 months, I have been dwelling on this research. And I discovered, I have chronologically arranged my research dating from pre-colonial, colonial, and the post-colonial Igbo society. Do you understand me? Good. So
yes,
I'm yet to discover, and when a research covers pre-colonial, colonial, and the post-colonial, you should know that is a wide range scope of coverage. Do you understand me? So there has never been any individual leader that our colonial people disappointed, our pre-colonial people disappointed, or post-colonial. There has never been. It will shock you to hear this. Even when the leaders betray the people, I discovered the people always want to give him a safe landing so that he can have a soft exit. This has been common. Mazi, let me ask you a question. Don't go far. Do you know that what led to Aba Women riot was some Igbo leaders, or supposedly imposed Igbo leaders on the colonial Igbo society? At a time, the people trusted them. The people saw them as intermediaries between them and the colonial powers. Are you there, Mazi?
Yes, I'm here. I'm with you, Mazi.
Good. There was a strong symbiotic relationship between the imposed leaders. The people, despite that the leaders were imposed on them, the people respected them, the people accepted them, the people followed them. Do you know at the time, these warrant chiefs, pride, and as a result of the eulogies and accolades that were heaped on them by the people, the thing entered into them. There's now begun that they have the power to decide who lives and who dies. In pre-colonial Igbo. Yes. I'm telling you historical facts. At a time, the power got into them. They now believe because they have access to the colonial authorities that they can decide who disappears in the society. Do you know what happened? Our people withdrew that legitimacy from them.
Absolutely.
The women revolted against them. And despite they revolted against them, do you know what happened? I was shocked to discover this. That the same people that revolted against a corrupt leadership, colonial stooge, the same people that revolted against them also gave themselves landing. Do you know that in Igbo society, there is no documentation of the names of the warrant chiefs as a way to punish them for, punish their lineage? Do you know there is nothing like that?
Yeah.
That means even in anger, Igbos also gave their corrupt leaders safe landing. So if we have a people with such mental disposition, it is wrong. It is, misnomer for somebody to say they always betray leaders. Because even when they had opportunity to destroy those that aired against them, they will also give them soft exit. So I'm going to dwell my time tomorrow to extensively talk about this historical fact. Because when people talk about Ndibo and the Biafran people, they had betrayed their people. They lack the energy of history. You can talk out of sentiment, and I take it that you're sounding, fatalistic, but not when we're talking a serious journey like the one we are. You want emotion, sentiments to overcloud everything. Is unacceptable. Sorry for interrupting you.
And yes, it's okay, Mazi. It's okay. You have made some very important points. It's very much welcome. But Mazi, let me just touch on something before I hand over the mic back to you, right, Mazi? Because the other side of the conversation so far, has to do with this other side of the millions, like as you can describe them, right? These millions online, their attempt to try to personalize the struggle erroneously, trying to pass a message of a personal business enterprise and all of those things. And then Mazi, just like us, I think Mazi KK would also mention it, right? On an individual personal level. Of course, I know this is not the forum. This is not the forum to come and reiterate personal allegiance or loyalty or none to Mazi Nnamdi. But on a very personal level, Mazi, myself, I can tell you, I have an undying love, respect for Mazi Nnamdi on a personal note. Okay, but you know what kept going through my mind? Is that quite unfortunately, this thing that these millions are pushing right now, unfortunately, I don't really think they just originated it from nowhere. Unfortunately, there are some reasons why I came to that conclusion. For years, because I've been in the movement even before I got so deep into it. But way back for the past 10 years, I can tell you I was in periphery at the time, but I've been very close, observing very close, and I've been following. And something used to occur to me in my mind. It used to bother me a lot. And that thing is it really possible that all of our how will I put it, all of our political actors in our land, all the well-to-do, business moguls, the high-placed elites in society, is it really just possible that they are just genuinely, they just genuinely hate the freedom like that IPOB is championing? Is it just that really possible like that? But I couldn't really, get a proper answer to them. But with the current events that are happening in Mazi, without wasting much time, I have began to pinch myself and say, is it possible that behind the scene, while we were actually seeing something else on the surface, that those who had a better, maybe a more information into certain inner workings of the movement to the highest, seat of power in the movement. Is it possible that they actually knew some of these things, which we were actually defending? Because I know on countless times, personally myself, I was on X and several platforms, defending that IPOB is not a personal business, it's not a personal business, it's not a personal business. But with the benefit of hindsight now, I'm not saying, is it possible that part of why the message sometimes may not have been received, especially in the grassroots and especially in my part of Biafra land, the coast, because that one pains me a lot, right? Could it be that part of the reason for the resentment perhaps was also because certain people were privileged to certain information which tended to support the idea that again, then I just game that they play no, they use them. That kind of
yes.
scenario.
I quite understand.
Yes, and that really troubled my mind. So that pushed me to want to make this a little bit of a suggestion, and I hope the leadership, of course, I'm sure they are listening, or even anyhow they can also listen to us, that this effort strengthening the institution and reinforcing IPOB as an institution should be copiously and abundantly communicated to the outside community. If you get what I mean, Mazi. It shouldn't just be something. It shouldn't just be something that is limited to the cycles of IPOB worldwide. No, it should be like there should be that deliberate effort to inform the rest of the world and society that look, this is what we are. If possible, the leadership can even release release or press statement or whatever, like to deliberately communicate these moves that are being made, so that regardless of how far that negative stereotype may have gone through of actually being a personal or a family, whatever venture, can be thoroughly cleansed. And then I am sure that more people the confidence of more people in what we are doing will be built up in that way, Mazi, if you get what I'm saying. So that's just,
okay. Let me make a brief. Let me make a smart, a quick response to what you just said, and that might be the end of this program. You see, talking about communicating to outside world, I can tell you that a lot of things have taken change in in making the world understand that. You might not understand that if you watch the letter heading of the movement, is totally changed with a very high security inscripted logo, and the leadership has used these letter headings to write officially to the heads of governments and heads of states. Do you understand me? The leadership has also communicated in respect to that to various embassies, various agencies, various actors on the international stage. That is why you see some of these guys, all you see them doing is a reaction. They are reacting to what they have knowledge of that has transpired. So the leadership has already cemented that what bodies have been communicated, necessary actors have been communicated on this effect. So it's not a hidden thing. So I really want to thank you for that contribution and appreciate you most as a coastal Biafran. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much, Mazi. I appreciate it. Thank you very
awesome.
much.
Okay, with that, we come to the end of this program. This program has taken 3 hours. So I want to say thanks and have the best of the time.